Hey y'all, welcome to your not quite live collective weekly reading. I was feeling under the weather yesterday. You can probably still hear it a little bit, so I am coming to you now, today, this morning, before my shift. You may hear the organic sounds of morning traffic outside the window. Let's make this happen. So, let's start with the collective message for this week. We're in a waning moon cycle. We're leading up to the Virgo solar eclipse. When I tuned in this morning, Spirit said, when in doubt this week, let it go. The eclipse is conjunct the South Node in Virgo. Perfectionism, needing it to be right, needing everybody to be in order, needing everything to go according to plan. When in doubt, let it go. And if you want even more magic, if you want to take it further, see the beauty of the flaw or the mistake or the delay, whatever. Pisces, the opposing sign of Virgo, right? Pisces doesn't look for perfection, but they find it everywhere. So let that be you this week. Let yourself see it as, okay, if it had to happen this way, what does that do for me? If nothing else, let me appeal to a Virgoan practicality. If nothing else, looking at life through that lens will have you like finding opportunities that you would not otherwise. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So, we're going to get into your daily forecast, but first I have to say something very exciting. Excited fingers because I can't give you my excited face. If you have ever been curious about what it's like to get a chart reading from anybody, or particularly from me, I would love for you to sign up for my very first Cosmic Spotlight. Ta-da! On Saturday, September 27th, 2 p.m. It's a $15 ticket, although if you're an email subscriber, sign up below. You'll get it for 10. So do that. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to be doing a reading lottery. So you enter, you give me your birth data, tell me a question you have about your life or your chart, and I'm going to be reading 4 to 5 charts live, depending on how long it takes. And you can enjoy the show. So you can sign up at the link in the description box. I'm very excited to show y'all another side of me. So now let's get into the cards for this week. Ooh, and we're kicking off with immediacy. We're kicking off with today. Thank you, Spirit. We are looking for the high and loving perspective, Spirit, that helps us have the best week possible. Again, we are leading up to an eclipse. Things are ripe and ready to change. With or without our permission, is what they're saying. Yes. So, Spirit, help us move in the best way possible. Help us navigate the energy with truth. Bring our understanding. Starting with today's Spirit, it's Monday. What do you have on the table for us? Hey, listen, if you've ever been here before, if you've ever listened to any of these readings, then Mondays have been a little bit of a sticking point, stuck in the craw. Today is really beautiful energy. King of Cups and Temperance. I often, when I'm looking at cards next to each other, I think, like, how would these two get along at a party? I feel like King of Cups and Temperance would get along famously. Healing energy, very gentle energy. Take it easy. Most certainly, don't go to extremes. That's the first thing with Temperance. And that goes for like, don't even, do the best thing too hard. Like, but I'm working out, or I'm really sticking to my nutrition plan. Don't be too rigid about anything. I'm hearing take your whole self into account, which is something that the King of Cups does. They take your whole self into account. You are a whole person, right? Yes, your body might need this, but perhaps your heart needs a little break. You know what I mean? Yes, your mind knows you have a deadline, but perhaps your body needs a little bit of rest, right? So take all of you into account. The King of Cups is a healer. So some of you may be spending time with or find yourself encountering somebody who can, I'm hearing the word stability, someone who can help provide that emotional stability. You know, if you are going through something, or even if you just want a little insight and clarity, the King of Cups is someone who can really help bring the waters down and calm them. And what I mean by that is, you know, consider the ocean when it's really choppy, when the waves are high, maybe there's a storm, right? The air is kicking up the waves. The way we think about our feelings, air, the storm, water, our feelings, can kick up the waves to a point where we can't see anything, right? All we can see is the chop itself, and maybe it feels like the chop is everything that there is. But the King of Cups can help bring that emotional weather, help calm that emotional weather, and help us see down past the waves and find the calmness even in the storm, right? He shows us that, well, if you dive deep enough, if you dive past the chop, you actually can see and feel and experience a lot more of this ocean, right? So, healer, psychologist, somebody with clear and compassionate sight is how Spirit is putting it very succinctly. I also think that looking at temperance here, Spirit is really having me zone in on the cauldrons. And they're saying we're mixing it up, dark and light, you know, bitter and sweet. When in doubt, let it go. See the beauty in the quote unquote flaw, or the, excuse me, Spirit is using the word polarity, the difference, right? If, you know, if it's a cliche, but if we didn't know what it was to be sad, we wouldn't know what it means to be joyful. If we didn't know what it means to feel lonely or misunderstood, we wouldn't know the total joy and ecstasy of being known and understood. You know what I'm saying? So, don't let the polarity mean something is wrong, and definitely not that you're doing something wrong. I feel like this is really lovely, gentle, take it easy energy. So, whatever you have going on today, to the extent that you can, try to find what do these two have in common? Balance, a sense of balance. Okay? Okay. Move gently, take a break. If somebody makes you want to scream, then it's like, oh, you know what? I need to step away. I need to go take me an hour and a half long walk or bath or nap. You know what I'm saying? And I will come back to this when the emotional storm has gentled a little bit, and then we can have an actually worthwhile conversation. Okay, let's talk about Tuesday, Spirit. What's showing up? What would you like us to know? There's a through line connecting all the folks who turn into this reading, Spirit. What is happening for us on Tuesday? Wow. Well, okay then. All the more reason to be cultivating your equilibrium today. Tuesday, the Tower. Shocking events. Paired with a rather sweet card, the Two of Cups. So there's a pretty obvious read to this. First, you know, the first thing that somebody could say looking at this is, oh, this could be a breakup, right? Two of Cups, the Tower, put them in a Venn diagram. That's something that you could see. I feel that what I kind of, you know, that could be a sect of people, but what I kind of feel is some of you are going to find out what your duo is made of when events, you know, don't seem to conspire to support you. When, you know, it's, oh, actually, and this is actually what I'm hearing is one of the ways this tower could come through is they're selling our building. It's like we rent this or whatever, but now they're gonna, you know, they got a new buyer or they got a new owner or something, and now we have to like leave or something like that, where it kind of shoves you out of the nest, and that's what I'm hearing the most, and that's certainly an interpretation for the tower. Whatever the tower was, it's not steady, and I feel Spirit is really having me hone in on the lotus blossom here in the Two of Cups. So let me say this. Some couples may indeed, you know, dissolve or maybe even just have a big fight, like a big falling out or something like that on Tuesday. I will say that the two paths for those couples, you know, if you have a lotus blossom relationship, and what do I mean by that? A lotus blossom is this beautiful, multi-petaled, pink, glorious thing that sits on top of the water. But we come back to this metaphor of going beneath the water. In this case, The lotus has to grow from muddy, gross, stagnant, murky water. If you have a lotus blossom relationship where we've been through, darkness and muddiness and etc., and we've grown through it and it didn't kill us, then this is not going to kill you. This is not going to undo all of your progress or anything like that. I'm also hearing that some people are having their illusions shattered around relationships, and that is painful. And it's bitter medicine, but it's still medicine, is what I'm hearing. And that is the truth. It's not fun to be disillusioned, but it's better than being falsely enchanted. It's better than laboring under an illusion or a delusion. You know what I'm saying? So, are you willing? Is the relationship worth the murkiness or the darkness? And I'll also say with the Two of Cups, this doesn't have to be romance. This can be like me and my business partner had a falling out, or something happened to the business and now do we have the staying power for this? Or, is this enough to knock us off? You know what I'm saying? So if the roots go really deep, then you will not be thrown off of what is really essential and necessary here. And if they aren't that deep and you don't have a lotus blossom relationship, then yes, like this may dissolve. What is the best advice with the Tower? It's when in doubt, let it go. We come back to what Spirit said at the beginning. When in doubt, let it go. Temperance falls very near the Tower. Let it go. Being Zen. King of Cups, Two of Cups, right? We already see a little bit of a theme coming together across these days. Now, let's talk about Wednesday. Let's talk about the middle of the work week. What's coming up? What's going down? As we come closer to the eclipse, Spirit, Wednesday, midweek. What do we need to know on Wednesday for our highest good? Okay, then. Midweek things, right? Five of Wands, distractions, fights, potentially unnecessary squabbles is actually the word that Spirit's using, and I do not be talking about. I don't squabble up. I don't know. Okay, Five of Wands, unnecessary or just kind of waste of time conflict is more than anything what I'm hearing, and goodness knows, what I'm feeling internet fights. I'm feeling, I'm burning up. Look at this match, this middle of the Five of Wands. Look at the match. I'm burning up all of my energy having an argument with somebody I don't even fucking like. What the fuck am I doing trying to convince somebody I don't know, I don't like, I'll never meet? We're diametrically opposed, which whatever, it's fine. We've heard Spirit say, try to find the beauty in the polarity. That's part of being here on Earth. We're not all meant to be the same or think the same. And let me be clear, I'm not doing false equivalency. I'm not saying everybody's fine the way they are. Polarity, right? I'm not immune to polarity. I have very passionate, what some would consider, polarized, one-sided views. And I don't care to contribute to a culture of dysregulation. I would prefer you to keep your fire and your energy for things that really matter to you and that you really care about. So whether it is an online squabble, whether it's, coworkers have been gossiping this and that, and I'm going to get my little lick in, or whatever, I feel like, how about you take your energy and your fire and you put into something you care about? Three of Pentacles, whether it's making money, whether it's making a craft, whether it's building a business. I feel like keep your precious fire for yourself. Think about how quickly a match burns down. That's something that I'm hearing is like, this is such precious, beautiful spark that you have inside. If you want to fight, then I want to tell you to fight for something, not against something. Go spend that beautiful, fiery energy doing something for the cause that you care about or the group of people that you care for, right? Rather than fighting paper tigers for them on the internet, what about going out and like, here, I'm going to put the work in or the time in or the money in or the volunteering in or whatever. You feel me? Okay. Me checking the clock to make sure that I don't show up late to my shift. We're going to be fine. Everybody's going to be fine. Okay. Thursday. Spirit. Let's get into it. I actually didn't check the clock. I probably should be, but I'm not. Thursday. Ooh, Spirit. Thursday. This week. What kind of energy is it, Spirit? What's showing up? Hey, now there's an improvement from the Five of Wands to the Four of Wands. This is more like it. This is builder energy. Four of Wands, community, home, celebration of community and home. It looks like some of you might really make that decision. I need to really direct my energy into what I do care about. Rather than fighting what I hate, I'm going to care for what I love. I'm going to make more of a home for what I love. I'm going to proliferate what I love. Page of Pentacles right next to that, the builder, the adept student. So some of you might be celebrating a milestone in a business or a craft, and when I say a craft, for some this could be a hobby they really care about. For some it could be a skill that they're really honing on purpose, trying to make some money. The Page of Pentacles is holding their coin. They want, oh, and Spirit is really drawing my eye. This particular Page of Pentacles has the yin yang symbol that the Temperance card has, lest we forget. So balance is everything, and the Page of Pentacles knows that. If it's not sustainable, then it's not going to work, period. Four of Wands, sustainable fire. The kind of fire that's inside of a hearth or a kiln that has positive building outcomes, rather than, people playing with fire and just seeing what happens and seeing what they can set on fire. You know what I'm saying? So, put your fire in the kiln. Put your fire into what you love. And it seems like you have a beautiful outcome on Thursday. It is just beginning, right? But the Page of Pentacles has tons and tons and the potential is unknown, right? A King of Pentacles, let's just say as an example, is at the top of their game, so we know what they're capable of. A Page, the whole world is in front of them. And depending on what they decide to do with their skill, their time, their effort, the outcome could be anything. So I want to encourage you to also get with people that you love. I think that this is a dying art that we need to revive, of getting together in real life with groups, even just for fun. Even, the thing that we have in common could be playing fucking D&D. You know what I mean? But like, yay, we get together and we play in real life and we share joy and we share each other's lives. And you know what I mean? We grow a bond because of that. So I feel like don't forget the art of getting together with your friends. Thursday could be a really great day to do it. Maybe you even come up with a really great idea, or again, you kick something off. That I feel so much pride. I feel like that's what they're really highlighting for me, is the amount of pride that whomever I'm looking at in this card, that you at home, right, feel for what you've been able to, even just as a beginning, accomplish. Really feels great. Okay, let's look, Spirit, at Friday. Friday. Sometimes it's a pressure release, that Friday. Spirit, what is this Friday looking like? What is this Friday bringing to those of us tuning into this reading? What do we need to know? Telling the truth. Always better to be slapped in the face with the difficult truth than to be stroked with a pretty lie. So whether it's you or someone else, I feel like a clarification needs to be made, and it will open the road for a new level. So, okay, these are general readings, of course, so I'm hearing this a couple ways. One of the ways that I'm hearing this, or really like what they're showing to me, is somebody younger, whether in years or in maturity, somebody younger says something kind of shocking, says, Spirit is using the word Uranus, like planet Uranus, and Uranus is a disruptor. Uranus is shocking. Uranus has kind of genius energy to it at times, but it, like a lot of geniuses, it's very erratic. So I feel like there's maybe somebody whose energy is kind of erratic, or perhaps this message is just kind of erratic. Like, well, this is kind of coming out of nowhere. And whatever that message may be, I feel like don't ignore it and don't let it like kind of slip by undiscussed. Like, if this is a moment for clarity, let's go ahead and get all of the clarity possible, and let's really look at what's on the table, what's on the board, what's available. If this person feels this way, what then? Or like, if this is the case, what now? Rather than, I'm just feeling like some people will want to like talk the person out of it or talk themselves out of it. Like, oh no, they don't really feel that way. They just said that. And it's like, no, no, they mean it. They said it. Like, now Spirit is saying when people show you who they are, believe them. The Maya Angelou quote. Great advice. Really fucking essential. Could save us all a lot of time and heartache if we would really integrate that lesson. Believe them. That is them. Check that you are not, perhaps, wow, picked these up to shuffle, for the next day, but I was going to say be careful that you are not projecting your goodness or your sweetness or your feelings onto anybody and going, no, but I see the good in them. You know what I mean? Here's the good in them is like one cell in their fucking pinky fingernail. That's not enough good. Okay. So if only you can see the good in them, then there's not enough good. That's something that I'm fucking hearing. So look into it. When they show you who they are, believe them. Ask into it. For others, I'm feeling it's time for you to be honest, even if it's upsetting for somebody. Like, no, this isn't what they want to hear, but the truth shall set you free. That's what I'm hearing loud and fucking clear. The truth shall set you free, and it will also set anybody else who might be tied up in the situation free, even if they don't want to be free. And that's something that I'm hearing. So it's like, even if they don't want to be free, you know that it wouldn't be right to keep them stuck anywhere that isn't actually authentic and truthful, right? So we're not doing anybody a service by staying with them even though we're not that excited about it, or, keeping the job even though we hate the job, So the truth shall set you free. 3 of Wands, ships coming in, ships going out, a big, huge new path opening up in front of you, not for no reason, but because of the brave choices that you've made to leave the comfort zone. Okay? So, if an uncomfortable or honest message pops up, whether through someone else or has to come from you, the truth will set you free. Do not turn away from it. Again, what Spirit said at the beginning, look for the beauty in the flaw or the shock or the disruption. Look for the beauty in it. Okay, what can I get out of this? Whether it's even just, I can learn from this. You will be able to take something and move forward in a much brighter direction. 3 of Wands is a very positive card. Okay. Now Saturday. What's it look like, Spirit? Saturday. The day of the eclipse. Oh, where's that Sunday? Forgive me. Saturday, Spirit. What does Saturday hold? What do we need to know about Saturday for our highest good? Hey! Okay. Okay. I believe this is the day before the eclipse, but holy shit, the wheel is turning. 10, 10, completion, and the joy of completion. So some of you may be celebrating a big anniversary, a big milestone, a big win. The Wheel of Fortune is a change in your luck. That's one of the ways to look at it. And it's a very positive card, and it also indicates, the wheels on the bus go round and round, up and down. So when we're riding the wheel and we're really pushing, we tend to experience a little bit of, maybe a lurch in the stomach. But it's not a problem. It's not a problem. Try not to make any, Spirit's really funny. They're like, try not to take the nausea personally and try not to make it a problem. because it's just part of going up and going further. Going further and farther. That's what they're saying. And let me explain. Grammatically, further is metaphorical. Farther is actual distance. Like going further in my career, going farther down the road. So Spirit is saying you're going further and farther. And they're also reminding me of a song by Mary Chapin Carpenter called Farther Along and Further In. So for those of you who feel inclined to go listen to that, that's what they're showing me. So some of you, it may be that kind of celebration. It's a very sort of spiritual song. So I'm curious how many of you will resonate with it. I really feel, don't let a moment to congratulate yourself for how far you've come go by. You may not, right, be like, confetti may not be raining down, ribbons may not be getting cut, rings may not be getting slipped on fingers for everybody who's listening to this reading on Saturday. But for everybody, Spirit is raising their glasses to you as if you are experiencing that kind of occasion. So what have you brought to completion? What do you want to agree with Spirit and raise your glass to yourself in your own toast for, like, you know what, I've made a ton of progress, or I've come very far from where I was before. The movements that I've made, you know, what I've heard for a long time from Spirit is like, when you push the wheel, we push with you. Spirit pushes with you. When you get out and you get behind your car that is stalled, your metaphorical car, and you push, Spirit are those wonderful people that pull over, hop out, and push with you and get you where you need to go and get you fixed up and get your wheel turning in the right direction. So you have been pushing. And if you haven't been pushing, here's your green light. Start pushing. Let yourself be shocked by what could happen on Saturday, where you feel very pleased with yourself and very seen. I mean, this also, I feel like anniversaries look like this. I feel like equinox parties, you know, look like this. Maybe some of you are having eclipse gatherings, which would be a very beautiful thing. It looks wonderful. Share. Love and joy shared are love and joy multiplied. Sadness and burdens shared are sadness and burdens divided, right? So, love that energy. Let's get a look ahead at Sunday, and then we will get into the elemental forecast. Sunday, Spirit, the end of this week. The next time we'll all be hanging out. Now there's some lovely eclipse energy. And listen, I am being so literal right now. Let's make sure the camera can actually catch this. Can you see it? Can you see it? Can you not? There we go. See the moons on his shoulder? Eclipse. Eclipse energy. Okay. So the Chariot and the Two of Wands pull in the direction that you want to go. The Chariot says, use your willpower. Things are opening up. And the Chariot demands that we know what we want and we choose the direction that we pull in and that we take our whole self with us. White horse, dark horse. So if any part of you, you know, Two of Wands is looking at our options. You had the Three of Wands before of, you know, striking out and being on the path and things opening up. Two of Wands is like, should I stay or should I go? Do I want to keep working on what I have here? I have the whole world in my hands, right? I've built something already. I've come very far in one way in my life, but this open hand indicates there's something more that I want. I want to have more experiences. There's places I want to go and see and experiences I want to have that I haven't been able to have yet. You can have them, but you must get in the driver's seat. You must be the charioteer and say, like, I have to, quote unquote, rein in myself, my desires, etc., and say, how can we get all on the same side and push this way? Because, like, this is where we're trying to go, or this is where we're trying to accomplish, or etc., right? So you are a very powerful being. And so it takes a lot of, you know, one of the words that they're bringing up with the Chariot, as it often is control. Because it's control, it's willpower, it's discipline. It's saying, if I want to materialize a new world in this hand. Here's my new world of experiences. Then I will have to choose and move in that direction extremely deliberately. And there will be days that I don't want to get up. There will be times that I don't feel like it. There will be people who don't appreciate what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. And I will need to be able to say, I know which direction I'm going in. None of this is enough to deter me. You know what I'm saying? So, eclipse is coming up. It's, again, you've heard me talk about it, but it is connected to the South Node. So it's connected to release. What do we need to let go? What might be getting in our way? What might be getting in the way of you being able to choose to move in the direction that feels good to you, even if, and this is what Spirit is saying, okay, even if that's something like, I've never taken a dance class before, nobody around me is into that, I live in a, like, the type of place where people laugh at people who do anything different, like, or anything active, or etc. And they're really showing that to me, okay? They're reminding me a little bit of the place I grew up, which is very, I love where I grew up. I appreciate the land, I appreciate the people, and it is not the most progressive, it is not the most open-minded, it is not like, oh, you want to try that? That's great, you should try that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to denigrate it in public. If you know, you know. I know some people that listen to this know. Okay. I'm saying do not get sucked back into the couch, the culture or the couch, okay? If you feel like doing something, even if it's outside of your regular purview, I feel like go for it. That's what I feel. Okay. All right. Let's get into the elemental forecast, and we will start with the earth signs. Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Remember, earth signs, this solar eclipse is at one point or another going to be trining, going to be creating angles with whatever you have in Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, whether it's your sun or your rising or your moon or whatever planets. So you are also being activated extra and invited extra by this eclipse. Keep that in mind. All right, Spirit. What do earth signs need to know this week for their highest good? When they bring their attention to this, it is for their highest good. Okay. And what about money, jobs, work, effort, skills, projects, spirit? Hey, love to see it. And what about the mental realm? Your mind, communications, messages, the climate of their thoughts and communications. Okay. What about the emotional realm, Spirit? The realm of the heart, feelings, relationships, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Hey, love to see it. And finally, Spirit, what about their fire? Their spark, their drive, their energy. What do Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn people need to know for their highest good? Two of Wands again. Are you one of those who is considering making a really big change? Two of Pentacles, Two of Wands, perhaps even like a career change. And maybe you're questioning whether you can do it. The Hierophant it speaks of tradition. It speaks of systems. It speaks of, gates and gatekeepers. The way that you are able to move or not move up through the ranks, right? I feel like some of you want to move to a different rank. Two of Pentacles speaks of multitasking. Some of you may be working, like so many of us are, multiple jobs, or it's like, here's my main job, here's my side hustle, and I move things around and I make that work. But there may be an opening to more out there. So I feel like there's two sides to this Hierophant for me. One is, this is certainly your strength as an earth sign. There are, hello, my God. Sorry for the earthquake. There are steps to things, right? There is an order to things. it benefits us to know what the rules and the boundaries are and to work inside of them. And it's important for us to know that we're working inside of them. They do not hold us, right? We can step out of those boundaries at any time. If you are craving something new, something different, something that seems more satisfying is the word that I'm hearing, you know, like the wands, they're our fire. They're what get us excited. They're what make us feel passionate about life. And I feel like you have options. I feel like you have more choices than you might be aware of. Eight of Swords says you might be looking at all the reasons, you know, why I should stay in this box or in this one system or in this one safe place. And I want to say, you have support. You have the emotional and the communal support to be able to take off of this blindfold. Bring somebody else in and help you look at these swords with you. That's something, right? You don't have to do this all alone, is something that Spirit is saying. And, you know, my earth signs, y'all tend to be some of the, you know, biggest, best candidates for, you know, strong friend trademark. Like the strong, silent friend that it deals with their own stuff on their own. You know, maybe they get called in the middle of the night for the ride or the pep talk or the you know, trauma dump, but they themselves will hold stoically what they're fearing or worrying about, right? I would love for you not to do that. I would love for you to rely on and allow and receive the support of the people around you who love you, right? Bio family, chosen family. Spirit is also saying for some of you, this is like a quote unquote family of people who have been through the same thing. This is very specific, okay? This is definitely not for everybody, but for some of you, Spirit is saying this is for people who've been through church hurt, people who have been wounded by being in an extreme or abusive religious situation. You know, maybe your people, quote unquote, are like former Mormon, former on whatever. Okay, I'm not denigrating nobody. I'm just saying that's what I'm hearing. Is for some of you, it's like, well, no, I don't know anybody actually because the only people I knew were affiliated with this, and I'm no longer affiliated with that. Well, you might find some family or at least some support in folks who've been where you are. Whatever you do, if you're questioning your worth, I think that's when you need to let other people, again, help you take off the blindfold and point some new things out to you. Because, you know, your cards are showing you, you absolutely do have options. And all it would require is to move things around a little bit. Maybe you're telling yourself that if you're going to go, you have to go all in, or it has to, you know, there has to be some huge, dramatic, like switch flip, you know, go from this career to that career or whatever. And I'm actually hearing like, no, you could, you know, slow and steady, build it a little at a time. So don't tell yourself stories that scare you away from either moving up in the ranks, if that is your earth sign story, or to move away from the ranks and more toward your own individuality, if that is your earth sign story. Okay, I hope that that is helpful, earth signs. Now, let's move on to the air signs. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Spirit, when it comes to the air signs, what do you want to bring their attention to for their highest good? What is an overarching theme that it serves them to be aware of for their highest good? A beautiful card to start with. Okay, Spirit. Now let's go into money, work, effort, jobs, projects, and skills. The pentacles of life. Spirit, in order to bring about the health of their wealth, well, what do the air signs need to know? Beautiful. And what about their own element, Spirit? Words, messages, communications, thoughts? What is the weather? The mental and verbal weather. How did I know it was going to be the frickin' Four of Swords? Sometimes, for any of my readers out there, you ever get that thing where Spirit like flashes what it's going to be right before you pull it? And you're like, whoa, I shouldn't be surprised, but I still am. It's amazing. Okay. All right, Spirit. Let's look at their relationships, their feelings, the realm of the heart for Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. What do they need to know for their highest good? Pretty great week so far. Let's see their fire, their spark, their drive. Spirit, what is firing the air signs up? Well, here we are again. It's eclipse season. It looks like a lot of us are pondering some really important decisions. Do I want to go in this brand new, amazing, I'm hearing the word exotic, as in, if you've worked a 9-to-5 job most of your life, moving to Nicaragua and being a, digital nomad sounds extremely exotic or whatever, right? So the Lovers, the Two of Wands, a choice is very prominent here. And both of these symbolize a choice that you make that fills you with excitement and passion. Oh my God, like if I could live like that, if I could do that, if I could experience a relationship like that, if I could live there, that kind of thing. I want to, a lot of the times when we see the Lovers, we think of romance and we think of love and we think of other people. It's about a choice, and it's about a wholehearted, full-throated, mind, body, soul type of choice. Think about the Lovers as the opposite, the antithesis to the devil. Bowing to our fears instead of bowing to our passion, bowing to our soul's calling. So what is your soul calling you to do? Some of you have a brilliant idea, a seed of something, a skill set, and Spirit's showing me different things. It's like for some people, it's a skill set. For some people, it's a craft, like a literal craft. Like I make stuff. For some of you, it's like, this is my novel. This is the idea or the first couple chapters that I have to my novel. And I'm still, it's the ace, right? It's the beginning, but I'm putting the work in and I really care about it. If you want to know if it looks like there is satisfaction to making this choice, there absolutely is. And there's potential for actually getting, the financial and substantive and tangible rewards as well. I feel like there's a ton of potential here, okay? And there's a ton of already available satisfaction here just from living life the way that feels truly aligned and exciting to you. And choosing, like, again, think of it as the opposite of the devil. Like, this is my one, Mary Oliver, wild and precious life. Why would I be afraid to try something and fuck it up, or try something and not get it, when this is my one wild and precious life? I might as well try. That in itself is satisfying. 9 of Cups, please yourself. What I want, what I like. My tarot translation for the 9 of Cups is like, yeah, I manifested that shit. Yeah, you see me? I made that happen. I'm so delighted with me. I'm so delighted with what I've been able to enjoy and create. I'm feeling so very fulfilled. And that comes, this isn't the 10 of Pentacles. It's not like, oh, I completed this and now I'm satisfied. It is, I am satisfied with the fact that I am doing the things that really matter to me and moving in the direction that feels most like me and the version of me that I'm going to love. I just made a recommendation to a client that I was reading this past weekend, and I want to make it to you, to watch an early 90s rom-com. Listen, stick with me. I know that I got some dudes that watch this. Stick with me. This was back when movies were good, okay? It didn't just have to be like, oh my God, look at these people, and then they kissed. Yay. No, it's an actually great movie, and it is, without giving you too many spoilers, it's about living the kind of life that you're going to be proud of at the end, right? Okay. Defending Your Life, Albert Brooks, Meryl Streep, Rip Torn. Check it out. It's hilarious. It's awesome. It's very poignant. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Okay. And finally, air signs. Love to see it. When it comes to your own element, you are chilling. Four of Swords. And if you are not chilling, then you need to chill. Okay? Four of Swords says kick back, relax, recover. Integration after disintegration is the Four of Swords. So recovery after a surgery, or, repair after the rupture of a fight, or the recovery of, I just did a whole week of a bunch of thinking or a bunch of labor, and now I really need to deflate, is actually what I'm hearing. Like, so make the time to do that to the point that you can. Thinking more is not going to get you further. I'm also hearing that. So when it comes to this and making this choice, thinking about it and analyzing it is not where you're going to get your best answers, okay? So you do not need to spend additional time doing that, okay? Okay. The less you think, actually, the better. The more that you let your mind rest, the better. And I'm also hearing for a lot of you, this does also apply to like physical healing. You know how when we go to sleep, that's when we do all of this recovery and we do all of this repair, and it's not a coincidence that it happens when our conscious mind finally gets the fuck out of the way. You know what I mean? So, as many chances as you can take to, during your waking hours, letting your conscious mind step out of the way. Taking, doing the meditation, if that's your thing. Or, saying a prayer and saying, hey, guides, God, whoever you talk to, little Jimmy Buttercup, I need to step into the healing bubble. I'm feeling really frazzled. I'm feeling stressed and anxious. So I'm putting a sparkly lavender bubble around myself, and I need y'all to come in and do a little bit of healing work on me, okay? Okay. And let them handle it. Okay? That's what I'm hearing. Okay. All right, air signs. I hope that that is helpful. Let's talk to the water signs. Let's also make sure that I'm not late to work. Okay. Water signs. Let's go. Listen, this is how much I love y'all, okay? Not me getting up before a 10-hour shift. Okay. Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Spirit, there's a through line through the water signs. What do you want to bring their awareness to this week for their highest good? Ooh, when in doubt, let it go. Let's look at money, projects, opportunities, Spirit. For Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces people, those who carry the water archetype heavily in their chart, love to see Six of Pentacles. Okay. How about the mental realm, Spirit? What kind of communications, thoughts, words? And what about their own element? Emotions, relationships, connections. Hey, listen, please yourself. And finally, for Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, what is lighting their... Wow, that is 3, right? Out of 4 elements already? Holy wow. And it showed up in the weekly forecast. So choices and making choices that feel like us. Really important this week. Okay. When in doubt, let it go. Let it be. Something I'm hearing from Spirit is something hasn't fully cooked yet. It's like it's still cooking. Relax. I'm also hearing you are still cooking. Relax. See, your hands are behind your back. You're doing stuff other people don't know about yet. Spirit's like, maybe you don't even know what you're doing yet. The right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing. You are making some magic. You are being enlightened, right? You are learning something from this delay, or from this hang up, or from this like Again, I'm getting the feeling that some of you are literally in recovery, like suspended animation, right? Pun intended. Like suspended upside down, suspended animation. I'm frozen right now. I can't really like move around. And I don't think that you actually need to. I think when in doubt, let it go. I think the eclipse is doing its work. You sit back and observe, which is the best advice with the Hanged One. The other best advice is to consider how might this delay or this big change, this inconvenient hang up or hold up, how can I use this to my best advantage? Just consider that, okay? Six of Pentacles says things are still moving in the ways that really that matter a lot, like money coming in, like generosity and opportunity very much available, very much in flow, which is what the sixes imply. Things are flowing, and actually all of your cards, except for the Hanged One, are pretty flowy, are pretty open, are pretty much in motion. Ace of Swords, clarity, truth. This might be, Ace of Swords, a brilliant insight that you get from not resisting, right? Because that's the big thing with the Hanged One. Don't resist the hang up or the hold up or the delay. Accept it for what it is. Like, oh, I wanted this to go faster. I wanted this to be done sooner. I had a way that I wanted this to happen, and now it's not happening that way. Again, how could that be working for me? What could I do with that? Boom, you could have a fucking amazing insight. And I'm really hearing it's like, oh, this is better than if it had gone the way that I thought that I wanted it to go. Okay? So try to have a very open mind. Things are really still moving in a good direction. Very good. Nine of Cups. Please yourself, and yes, pleased with yourself. Yeah, I made that happen. Yeah, that's mine. Oh yeah, that I made that. I wrote that. I came up with that. That's me. That's mine. That's what I'm hearing. Like, yes. Sitting back. I'm hearing proud mama, proud papa too. So I'm curious if anybody is like, new baby. And it's just like, oh yeah, I did that. That's what I'm feeling. A really warm, wonderful feeling. So please yourself and prioritize feeling pleased with yourself. And don't make feeling pleased with yourself contingent on how fast things are going or how perfectly, they're working out. And perfectly, Spirit is like, perfect is very relative, because perfect is like what we individually think was like, well, this would be perfect. But Spirit reminds you that they have a much wider imagination, view, understanding, right? So our idea of what could be amazing might be a pinhole compared to what Spirit can see for us. So relax, let it be. Eclipse be eclipsing things. New things are very much open to you, but you will need to be the one to make the decision. I don't think you need to make it now. I think that you in repose, you relaxing, may have you come up with, oh, this is what I need to do. Or this is what I'm not doing anymore. Or this is what I am doing from now on. Ace of Swords, beginnings and endings, right? Cutting in, cutting off. Like, that's what I'm hearing. And Spirit is also saying that with this Ace of Swords, when the time is right, when you find your Ace of Swords, you'll be able to cut yourself free. Ace of Swords does move with speed. So if you're worried about the fact that things are slowed down or hung up or delayed, or like you're on, I'm here even hearing like paused indefinitely. Spirit's like, indefinitely doesn't mean forever. It just means indefinitely. Okay? So I don't know who needs to hear that because it's a very specific phrase, but that's what I'm hearing. So if you're being paused, say, okay, again, universe, God, spirit guides, whatever, y'all want me paused? I'm pausing. I'm all in. If I can't do this or work on that or push forward on this, then this is where I'm going to put my time and attention on things that are flowing, on things that are making me happy. I'll use this time while I'm frozen to look at my options. You know what I'm saying? And probably from those, I will synthesize, this is the next step that I'm taking. This is what I'm going to do now. Okay? Okay. I hope that that is helpful. Air signs. Now, fine. Oh, I'm sorry. Water signs. I know who I'm talking to. I'm so sorry. Now, I was looking at the sword card. Finally, let's talk to Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. My fire folks. Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. What does it serve the fire signs spirit to bring to their awareness? What is the overarching archetype? Hey, the fire signs this week. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Let's look at money, work, projects, opportunities. Money, money, money. And they bring their awareness to this. Woo! Oh, nope, nope, nope. We're doing one. We're doing one, spirit. Sorry. It's like 10 minutes till my workday. I'm making it happen. Making it happen. What do they need to know, spirit? When they bring awareness to this, they bring health to their wealth. Hey, a little rhyme here, okay? A little rhyme. What about the mental realm? What kinds of words, messages, thoughts, communications, spirit? What is the climate, the air like for the fire signs? Okay, we'll talk about it. What about emotionally? What's going on in the realm of the feelings? You wanted to jump out. And finally, what about their own element? Their fire spirit, their inner light, their drive. What do the fire signs need to know about their own element? Bring awareness to this. Okay, so what are you fighting for? What are you fighting for is one thing that I'm hearing. I'm looking around. This is the beauty of doing this reading from my work desk, is I can grab a whole other deck because I am feeling the desire to pull a clarifier for that Three of Swords. Spirit, tell me where the disconnect is. What is this disconnect related to? Ace of Swords. Okay, well, that's nice and clean, isn't it? Somebody needs to be honest. Somebody needs to be honest. Okay, that'll make things move in a much better direction and make things a lot less confusing. So, Wheel of Fortune, great card, showed up during the weekly forecast, things moving forward, a change in your luck, and also the willingness, like needing to have the willingness for, if I'm on the ride, right? If I want to hop on the Wheel of Fortune, if I want to hop on the roller coaster, there's ups and there's downs, and there's points where my stomach is going to lurch and I'm going to think, oh my God, I'm going to throw up. I thought that I wanted this, but maybe this isn't the best thing ever. That's only because you're moving, right? And movement can be uncomfortable. I feel that some of you are separating yourself from something or someone that is hampering, frankly, like hampering your progress, that is kind of a dry, I feel like a very dry influence. Like, there are most certainly people out here who see you, who care for you, who are willing to exchange with you. And I feel like this person or place is not. So we can't mince words. Three of Swords is a disappointment, right? It is not, let's be clear, a heartbreak necessarily. That's more like the Five of Cups feelings, right? But the Three of Swords is definitely hurtful. And it is more often than not words and concepts that hurt us. I feel that for some people, they have heard recently people that they really care about, like, partners, family members, friends, say things that they deeply, deeply, deeply disagree with. We're in that climate right now, right? And fire signs are fiery people. They're passionate, so they tend to share what they feel and what they believe. And sometimes that can lead to separations, and that can lead to heartbreaks. And the Ace of Swords as a clarifier for the, and remember, like, I was pulling from a whole deck, right? It could have been a major arcana card. It could have been a wand card. It could have been anything, but it was another sword card. Honesty. Honesty is the best policy. We have a very regal looking, if it would only focus. We have a very regal looking eagle. You're going to have to trust me. Okay. We have a very regal looking eagle on this card. I feel like you need to be regal and stand up for what you believe in. And if it causes a rift, or you being yourself and you being true to yourself causes a rift with others, then that's very sad. But it's part of you as a fire sign to stand up for what you believe in. Not just stand up, but fight for what you believe in. Now, I will give the same advice that I gave during the weekly reading, which is, if you want to fight, please fight for something rather than against others, right? So be pro whatever your thing is rather than anti whatever the other thing is. You know what I'm saying? Because you have great fire, you have great ability, you're on top of it, you have all these opponents, and yet you remain on top, you have the higher ground, you know what you're doing. So we want the people with the best and most beautiful heart fire doing the right thing and fighting for what they care about, right? So please just ensure that, you have all this tremendous, wonderful fighting energy. Just make sure that you are fighting for and with the people that you care about, and not vice versa, right? Not fighting against the people that you don't care about or don't agree with, or etc. I feel like that's a waste of energy, and it just multiplies this feeling of being separate, as opposed to, I need to go and get together with people who do see me and understand me and want to connect with me. This feels like somebody who isn't interested in connected. They're interested in, like, I'm right. I'm right, and you need to admit that I'm right, or I'm right and it's messed up that you say or did that, or blah, 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 blah. And, like, I'm being me. I'm being me, and if that means that, like, we can't agree or even be around each other or whatever, then so be it, because there are people in the world that I want to connect with and that want to connect with me. So fire signs, don't be afraid to push the wheel. Don't be afraid to move things forward. It may make your stomach lurch, but you're going somewhere very fruitful. We haven't even discussed your Ace of Pentacles, your great idea, your amazing skill set, your nascent your nascent idea, your idea that is in its infancy, but like an infant, it is full of potential. It could become anything, depending on the passion that you put in, the love that you put in, the thought that you put in, right? So if anything is distracting you, and I'm hearing energy leak is actually how they're describing this and showing this to me. So if, talking with certain people or about certain things or whatever it is leaking your energy, you have the right to draw a line, to even just say, it doesn't have to be, right, as dramatic as, I'm never talking to you again, uncle, whatever the fuck, because your beliefs are terrible, which you might make that decision and that's fine too. But if you don't want to do that and you just want to say, hey, uncle, what the fuck, we're not going to talk about politics anymore because, like, we just never managed to have a conversation. So I don't want to do that anymore, period. Then do that. Because you have much cooler things to be putting your energy into. And now, because of our clarifier, you have a double ace in your reading saying a new beginning is on the table. New beginning is on the table. Completion of one cycle, beginning of a new cycle. What can you take that you have learned and move into the next chapter with you? Eclipse is coming. That's exactly the kind of thing you want to be thinking about. What am I over and done with, so I can clear it out of my way, and so that my path is open and wide, and all of the momentum in the world I can take anywhere that I want to. That's what I'm hearing. Whew. Much love to y'all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here even though I'm a little late. I appreciate you very much. Check out the Cosmic Spotlight. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be a little live chart reading party, and I'm really looking forward to it. I love hearing people's questions. I love reading people's charts. I get real fucking nerdy and excited about it. So if you'd like seeing me nerdy about this, you ain't seen nothing yet. But I hope you do. All right, y'all. Off to work now. Bye.